Your what?
Ho, ho, ho,
Yeah.
ho. And that cues
Yeah.
the holiday. Yeah, we're in 2026, so if you if you need
Yeah.
if you need to save that laugh to your, I don't know, your notification settings, or maybe you just need it when December rolls around so you can celebrate Hanukkah or Yule or Christmas or Kwanzaa, or as one of my friends calls it, it's fun too because he works in theology, but he calls it Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and Festivus for the rest of us.
Yeah. Well, then you have all of it wrapped in one. Yes, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, pretty funny. Yeah. Well, I had a great time during the holidays, I must say. I
What'd you do?
Yeah. Well, what did I do? I invited my father and mother-in-law, and I tried to be the best culinary chef that I can be.
Food.
And
Talk about the
and
food.
yeah, so apparently I succeeded, so they were very happy with the menu. They loved it. They ate like well, I
What'd you
don't know.
make?
Was it? It tasted really well. They said so.
What did you
They
make?
were really happy. Oh, what did I make? I made chicory rolls with ham and do I say that right? You know what it is, right?
Yes,
The
yes, you
white
did.
vegetable, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, with four cheeses sauce on
That
it.
sounds great. Wow.
It was great. Yeah, and I had a baked potato in the oven with cheese on it, and it was truffle. You know
Hmm.
truffle. You know what that is? Yeah,
Hmm.
truffle potatoes, great, gratin, as en France.
That sounds amazing.
And yeah, what did I have? Yeah, I had Brussels sprouts with nutmeg. And nice, really nice. Yeah, and we had
Making me hungry, man.
beef stew, the Dutch way, with very nice herbs and very nice. Yeah. Yum,
And
yum, yum, yum.
if anybody wants the recipe, Tone will be providing it after the show.
If you can get it, if you can get the stuff that you need. Yeah. Well, anyway, so and was the first Christmas Day. Of course, you know that in the Netherlands we have two Christmas days.
Yeah,
So
now
yeah, two Christmas days.
have
And the second one,
do you have Boxing Day as well?
yeah, I know what it is. It's the day before Christmas, right?
I think
And
after. It's a day after, and if my recollection of history serves me correctly, your Boxing Day was when people who were more well-to-do would take the leftover food and things like that and box them up and then give them
Mhm.
to the less fortunate.
Oh, really? Oh, I don't know.
The 26th of December.
No, we don't have that. But anyway, but and so we have two Christmas days, and the second day we had Ingeborg's mother,
Right.
who's
Wow.
in her she's in a resting home now right now, and she's getting old, and yeah, so we invited her over together with Ingeborg. She was here as well, and yeah, so I fixed another delicious meal for them as well. And,
You've
well, yeah,
you've
we played some music and
you've
just
inspired me. I have an old friend coming
yeah,
into town at the end of the week, and I was going to take him out to dinner, but I'm going to fix him dinner. I'm going to fix him something
you
nice.
can do this.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
get
I'm a great cook. I don't cook enough, but I'm a
yeah.
great cook. Not
Well, I would like to think I
not as good as my wife. She can find three spices in the cabinet and some pasta and whip together a three-course meal, and I don't know how that's done. I just don't. But
nah. Well, me neither.
that
So
would be fun.
interesting.
That would be fun. Yeah. I love that. That sounds
Yeah,
really good. Oh my gosh. You know, the chicory with the four cheese alone is great. So you could, boy, you could eat that all day
and
long
ham.
without the ham.
Yeah, you have to make with the ham. Yeah. Oh, you can't, right? Can't use
I
the ham usually
so
as
so
being.
grilled cheese, you know what that is, yeah?
Yeah, of course. That's what it was. We put it in the
Yeah,
oven as
yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I just learned about a really fascinating new way of making a grilled cheese. And I love multiple cheeses. I'm like you know, four
Mm,
cheese, five cheese, six cheese, I don't care. But
lekker.
on the
Yeah.
outside of the bread, you slather it with butter, both sides, and a little bit of
Mm.
mayonnaise. And then you cook it in an air fryer.
Ah, okay.
I am not kidding. First of all, it's not nearly as messy as cooking it in an open skillet, right? Because you've got everything flying
Uh-huh.
everywhere. But
Yeah.
the crunchiness of the bread, the crispiness, but it was so flavorful, so moist from the butter, and it's like, really? I'm reading the recipe and going, really?
Mm.
You're putting mayonnaise on the outside? And they said, yeah, you don't
Yeah, yeah.
have to, but if you do, it makes it the oil in the mayonnaise makes it all a little moister, but it was really good.
Mm, okay. Oh, nice.
Oh
Surprising.
gosh.
I
Did I
wouldn't
ever
have come up with that, but
did
hey,
yeah,
if you say it's good.
did I ever make chili for you? I know I've made chicken soup for you, but did I ever make chili for you?
Mm, I guess you did
I
way
feel like it
back.
was quite a while back.
Yeah, that was in 2000s or 99 or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that.
yeah. It was quite a while
Long
back.
time ago. Yeah, I forgot all about it.
Chili,
I
I
remember it was spicy.
Yeah, yeah. I don't make it that spicy anymore because
No.
I realize people don't have the same taste for heat in their food that I do.
Mm,
So I keep
right.
it pretty mild and then I let people add stuff to it. But the thing that I
Yeah.
found is really tremendous fun is I have it's almost like when you go to an ice cream shop and they can add granola or gummy bears or M&Ms or all that other stuff, right?
Mm,
I will have a little supplement bar with the chili. You have the chili, but you know there's also there's Fritos, there's cheese, there's the small little rolls so you can make mini bread bowls with your chili. Just carve out the center, and that is so much fun because
mm,
you've taken one note, which is chili, and now you've added all of
yeah.
these different options. You know, put nachos out there in
Yeah.
case people want to have chili, and however you want to make it. You just put the pot of chili out there and
Mm,
let people just dine. Mm. Man,
right.
I don't know about you, but I
Yeah.
talk about food and I get hungry.
Always. Yeah, that's how it goes. So, how was your Hanukkah?
It
You had
was
a good
great.
time?
It was really, yeah, it was
Yeah.
really good. You know what was really nice about it this year, it doesn't often happen. It bookended two um two Hanukkah Sabbaths, two Hanukkah Sabbaths and services at temple, which was really cool. Because it's so much
Mm,
fun to listen to the rabbi talk about. He's not afraid to put his thumb on the pulse of whatever's happening in the world. And
that's good.
some people have criticized him for it, and I have come to his defense saying, wait a minute,
Uh,
are plenty of religious leaders in other parts of the world preaching hatred against everybody who's not their religion, preaching action against everybody who's not their religion, telling you you're
mm,
a bad Christian, a bad Muslim if you don't do these things. So he absolutely has the right because he is a leader. He is there to provide guidance and insight. So yeah,
Good. Yeah.
it was really really nice. It was pretty quiet. Um, it's
Not a lot of
interesting.
people.
No, had some things going on, but wrapping your head around the fact that when you lose a loved one, and you completely understand, and that it's already been a year
Yeah.
since we've buried my father-in-law of blessed memory, and it's a hard thing to wrap your head around the fact that the level of grief,
Yeah.
it's like the same thing I feel for my dog who has now been buried for several months. But
Yeah.
it was not a wild, crazy, festive Hanukkah, but it was still a festive Hanukkah. Does that make sense?
Yes, of course.
And
Yeah.
we even I made sure I had little gifts for everybody on Christmas Day. And it's funny because
Yeah.
I reconnected with an old friend from years ago who's a born again Christian,
Right.
and
Mm.
he had asked me when he found out that I was Jewish, oh, then you welcome a brotherly debate about Jesus. And I went, oh, there's no debate. Jesus was a teacher and he was a very wise man, but Jews don't believe
Yeah.
that Jesus was the Son of God. So there's really not much to
Mm.
debate. And
Right.
in that conversation, he started asking me a bunch of questions about Judaism. But one of them was, well, do you celebrate Christmas? And I said, I celebrate the intention of civility, of kindness, of generosity, of charity. That's what I
Yeah.
celebrate. Because that, I mean,
Yeah.
that's another thing I don't want to get into is the fact that the church picked the date that he was born, which is pretty fascinating.
Yes, the date that he was born. What did he say? Because you fell
The church picked
away.
the date he was born in the spring. He was born in the spring.
Right.
He wasn't born
That's
December
before.
25th.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you and I have
Exactly.
talked about the sheer magnitude, the massive number of
Mm.
deities and gods that have been born on December 25th.
Right. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
more than one or two.
Hundreds of them, maybe even
Yeah,
thousands.
but
Yeah. Yeah. So it is. Yeah.
Jesus is a product of great marketing and Emperor Constantine.
Yeah. And it derives from other gods and deities and everything.
Hmm.
This just doesn't make sense to believe in one of them.
But
Maybe they're all there. Maybe it's safe to say that none of them are there. It's all man-made,
yeah,
I
yeah,
think, but that's okay. But the spirit of Hanukkah is the lights, right?
yeah.
Lights. Uh, how's that metaphor? Or
No,
you have the candle, of course.
that's correct. Yeah, the no, but that I
Yeah,
think that's it.
yeah,
It's kind of funny because I'd seen
mm,
someone wearing a shirt that said, if you don't understand Hanukkah, imagine you have 10% left on your cell phone in battery power, and yet your cell phone still works for 8 days. That's Hanukkah
uh, okay.
because they had after the Maccabees defeated the Greeks, they wanted to celebrate and consecrate the temple, and they had oil for one of their oil lamps, and they had enough oil for one night, but that oil burned for
Mm,
8 nights.
mm,
That is part of the history and the story behind Hanukkah.
ah,
So
okay.
and what's interesting, maybe we've talked about this, there was one day when my youngest was coming home from kindergarten and she was crying. And I asked why, and she said one of the kids at school told her she was going to hell and Santa wasn't coming because she didn't believe in Jesus. This is a 4-year-old that said this. And do you think the 4-year-old figured that out by doing research online or reading the Bible? No.
No way.
Parents,
Go ahead.
parents, your kids are
Yeah.
paying attention. So she said this to me and she had tears in her eyes. And I said, "Hey, Nugget, sit down. Let me ask you a question. How many days is Christmas?" And she goes, "One." "How many nights is Hanukkah?" She goes, "8." I said, "Is 8 more than one?" And she goes, "Yes." And I said, "See, we have 8 nights of celebration and gifts.
Uh,
Christmas,
yeah.
fun. Not as much fun."
Just
And and then I said to her, I said, and you know the origins of Christmas are deeply pagan, but and so is Santa, but we're going to get into that another time. We won't talk about that now.
yeah. Yeah. Right. Talking
But
about pagan. Uh, I have to switch back to Santa Claus,
yes,
of course, because yeah, I I had a very nice Santa Claus
that's right. You got
time this
to
year.
you got to work as
Yeah,
Santa Claus, and I asked you. I said, "How long does that go on?" Because everything is a Hallmark holiday in this country, and people. I have
yeah.
a friend who portrays Santa Claus, and he's booking work as early as end of October, beginning of November.
Right. Yeah, well, it was around about the same. No, not really. I started out at halfway November,
Yeah.
and I
Can
did a
you can
couple.
you
I did a
imagine
couple.
playing Santa
Yeah.
Claus from the beginning of November to the end of December? Because that's what he does.
No.
He's like two months
Oh
of it.
yeah. So he's
I think
doing
it's
Santa
I
Claus,
think it's
right?
great.
He's not
Yeah.
doing, yeah, Santa Claus, right? I heard this. I don't know if you know this, but I heard that the name Santa Claus,
Hmm.
like the American style English, whatever, derives from Sinterklaas.
Yeah.
Like our
Absolutely.
European Sinterklaas is, yeah,
Absolutely.
that was pretty fascinating. And and also there's this funny story about because in the Netherlands you have Sinterklaas and his helper, of course,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And in different cultures across Europe, the helper of Sinterklaas takes on different forms.
Hmm.
Like, for instance, in Germany and Austria, I believe, and Switzerland, this helper of Sinterklaas is kind of a devilish figure, and his name is Krampus,
Krampus. I was
right?
going to ask about Krampus.
Krampus,
Yes.
yes. And in the Netherlands, he took on
Like an impish, elvish look.
where Krampus.
No, 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 no.
No,
No.
we took
Krampus
on
typically
here.
has
We
horns. Some cultures see him as
right,
almost
yeah,
like
yeah,
Santa's
right.
peer. Not more than a helper. He's almost like Santa's taking care of the good kids. Krampus takes care of the bad kids.
Ah, I didn't know that. Interesting. Okay, but what I wanted to get at is
Yeah,
the following. Like in the Netherlands, it took on the identity of a helper of Sinterklaas, like his, and then ascends or descends. How do you say that? Going down? It's descending, right?
yeah, yeah.
He's descending down the chimney to deliver the gifts for the children.
Right.
That's what he does. And his face gets, of course, he gets dirty
Yeah,
from the chimney.
yeah.
Right. That's the story.
Yes.
But anyway, during the years and cultural influences and everything, like he is dressed up as some people might perceive as him being a slave boy.
Right.
And you might argue they have a case for that. But the interesting thing is, because we have a colonial past, of course, as
Yes.
well as the states, and of course the states had slaves in the past, and the Netherlands had slaves in the past as well. But there are a lot of people who had slaves. Let's leave it at that.
Oh,
So,
come on,
but here in the Netherlands,
The Dutch
yeah,
India Trading Company.
yeah, for instance, and well, they got they're slaves from the Muslims, but everybody seems to forget. But let's put that aside for a minute.
Yes.
Not important. But the funny thing that's happened is that over the last decade or something, we had this big movement going on, this politically correct movement that wanted to get out Zwarte Piet
Right.
because of the slavery history and
Right.
everything. So that kind of dominated the whole perception of Sinterklaas and everything, and also Zwarte Piet, of course, Black Pete. So, but now, after all these years, the group that was very active in trying to get rid of Zwarte Piet tradition, they said, "Well, it's time to quit." Okay, so every year in Zeeland, one of the provinces in the Netherlands,
Hmm.
down south on the
Yep.
shore, it's Ierseke. It's a place called in the Netherlands called Ierseke, and
Land
they
of the
always
sea.
have the yeah. That's where Sinterklaas, one of the places where Sinterklaas is arriving by
Right.
boat
Right.
from Spain. And this year, they tried to prevent the actions from the Kick Out Zwarte Piet movement. So they said, well, you know what? We're not going to let Sinterklaas arrive this year in our town. So the people from the movement, from Kick Out Zwarte Piet, they went away and they declared that they didn't want to do it anymore in the future because they had fulfilled their goal to eliminate the tradition of Zwarte Piet. And then later on in the day, these people showed up after all. So Sinterklaas came into town with Zwarte Piet.
Love that. I like so it,
That was funny. That
it's
happened this year.
it's so we were talking about you'd learned about the connection between Santa Claus and Santa Claus and remember that the Dutch heavily populated and established parts of the Northeast US, right? The southern
Yep,
part of
yep,
what is now the United States was owned primarily by Spain.
yeah. New
As much
York,
as they,
yeah.
yeah, right, New Amsterdam.
New
And
Amsterdam, yes.
when you look at, like, for example, Pennsylvania Dutch country, the Amish,
Right,
they have maintained their agricultural mindset and lifestyle for centuries. So yeah, that
right.
influence is still present and felt. But I think, you talk about the movements. Um, there was a and there's an argument that can be made for both sides of it. There was a cultural appropriation issue with some of these football teams being named after like Native Americans, or even being
All right.
using
Yeah.
terms like, redskin, that
Mm.
is not necessarily very nice. And someone had tried to lead a group against Florida State University. Their mascot is Chief
Oh,
Osceola, the Seminole Nation, and he
oh.
arrives on a horse with a big, huge spear. And they came after him,
Mm.
and the Seminole Nation, one of their spokespeople, came forward and said, "Not so fast. We have a long-standing agreement with FSU, and we have given them permission to represent our nation
Yeah,
and use the image of Chief Osceola," which I thought was really fascinating. So
yeah.
you watch this particular football game, you see this Native American on a horse. I was like, oh, that doesn't seem, shut up. Seems perfectly right. It's the same thing that,
Yeah.
I have people. I'm working on a book on tiki spaces and Polynesian culture. And I've had conversations or heard conversations about people saying, "Oh, it's cultural appropriation, taking these Polynesian icons and the iconographic images." And I'm
Oh,
like, "No,
so
stop!
tiring.
It's not the case, because if you fly to a Polynesian island, first of all, they greet you with a lei, they welcome you, they want you to participate, they
Right.
want you to learn." I have friends who went to Rapa Nui, Easter Island, and they were invited to be part of the parade. They had dinner with local families. they were as absorbed and they it's funny they both said, if we didn't have lives in the mainland in the US where we had to be present, we might have moved right then and there. So, people,
Right.
this is we're going off the rails here, and I think that's okay. This is like
Yeah,
the
it
people who
is.
stand up
No
for a
problem.
cause without understanding what that cause
Yeah.
is. Like whether you're pro this movement, you're pro that movement, and you're not even
Yeah.
actually physically active. You're not a part of it. It doesn't mean what you think it means to hold up, for example, a
Right.
Palestinian flag and say we stand with them. Because first of all, it shows that you don't know your history, and
Yeah.
there's growing anti-Semitism. And boy, we could get into this,
Right.
but we won't. But
We
yeah, the
won't.
holidays, I think the thing that I noticed, I don't know if it happened over there, the thing that I've always appreciated about the United States and the holidays is from about Thanksgiving to the first week of January, people are amazing. They're warm, they're
Right.
fuzzy, they're spending time with family, there's a sense of charity, of kindness. Everybody is nice. This past holiday season, there were a considerable number of shite heads out there. People just thinking about
Yep.
themselves and not giving a care about anyone
Yep.
else. Did you find that to be the case for you?
Yes. I'm afraid. Yes. Yes. That's how it is. And that's the propaganda machine.
Yeah.
And we both know where it comes from. Let's keep it at that.
Yep.
Also, one very interesting thing, and we're gonna keep it superficial. I'm gonna not going into it too deep, but like the keffiyeh that all these pro-Palestinians are wearing,
Hmm.
it's not even Palestinian because Palestinian doesn't exist for one. Point two, the keffiyeh, the white one, comes from a southern village in Iraq called Kufa. That's where the name is coming
Why
from,
it's called
keffiyeh.
that?
Yeah, so talking about cultural appropriation in the
Well,
worst possible way.
there's
That's what they
right
did. Nobody
right now.
knows.
No,
You
it's
see these
true.
ignoramuses, you see these ignorant people walking
Well,
around in
there
these things and
there's
go,
a
yeah,
there's
yeah,
there's been
yeah.
a great deal of discussion right now over some steles, STELE. They're massive inscription tablets. And one of them, I can't
Oh,
remember the
okay.
name of it, but one of them,
Yeah.
it's inscribed with a bunch of information, including a battle where Egypt was victorious over Israel. And this goes back more than 1947. So pretty fascinating
Hmm.
stuff.
Really?
Yeah,
As far as I know.
I'll send you a link so you can do the research. It's
Ah,
You
interesting.
you and I both do the same thing. We get our information from a wide variety of sources. We don't have just one we
Yeah,
go to. And for me,
right.
anytime someone sends me something, with the exception of you and a couple of other people, I have to do the research and find out, okay, is this AI generated?
Yeah.
What's the truth? I did the same thing with this, and I was
Yeah.
amazed to find several archaeological sources and theological sources were providing the same information. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, for me it's new because Israel might have lost some battles here and there, but never a full-on war. They always came out victorious, always.
Yep.
So that's kind of interesting. Like this whole list about every battle, every war that has been fought by the Israeli, and they all won them, but they never started one. That's interesting.
No, we talked
Yeah.
about this, and I feel like this is another
Yeah.
episode. But
Oh yeah.
Golda Meir, and her comment, right? If our enemies lay down their weapons, there is no war. If Israel lays down her weapons, there is no Israel.
Very true.
All
Yeah.
right, let's
Happy
wrap
New
it up
Year.
on the holidays. Yeah, Happy New Year, Happy Secular New Year to those of you who are also counting
Absolutely.
down the clock to the Chinese New Year and
Yeah.
the Jewish New Year and all the other New Years. So happy secular Gregorian calendar New Year to those of you out there who are celebrating.
Yeah.
When the holidays roll around, any holiday, try to dig deep and find your kindness so you can be nicer and more kind to everybody around you because you're going to find
Mm,
you're going to feel better about yourself. Those are my
right.
thoughts, people. Tone?
Mine are uh, be very careful to what you adhere to. That would be my message. Be mindful of what they tell you
Yes.
and always second guess, keep asking questions and
Trust,
make sure that yeah,
trust but
exactly. That's
verify.
fine. Yes, trust and never trust and always verify.
Yes. All right, everybody,
Yeah, man.
click link, like, click the like link
Subscribe,
and subscribe.
like
Go
link.
ahead. Go ahead. We're watching. Go ahead. Do it now.
Give us a thumbs up.
And thank you for taking us with you as you go about your day. We appreciate that. We appreciate
Yeah,
you. If you have anything you want us to talk about, let us know. You can drop a note in the comments. And
right.
we'll see you next time.
See you later, alligator.
Later.
Later.